Hey guys, what is going on? Sharp Thinking here. So I wanted to do kind of an update video just talking about what knives I've been carrying. Wanted to ask a couple questions to you guys. So I guess we'll start with what I've been carrying recently. So I have a bunch of knives in the roster for upcoming videos. So most of them you have seen. I don't think I did a first impressions video on the Sebenza. I locked down a full CF. I guess it's just the show side is CF. But I got this from Super Steel Steve or Chef Kalari on Instagram. Just threw me a sweet price and I couldn't pass it up. And I'd been meaning to check one out anyway. So I got this maybe a month ago. I'm liking it so far. I actually, within the next week should have my Carta full-size Sebenza here at my place. So the carbon fiber kind of gives it a different feel. I think the full titanium would feel a little bit more like the Umnumzan, which I'm going to get to in a bit. But knife is super light, super handy. Really, the blade shape it's timeless. It is, put this blade shape on anything and, as long as you don't butcher the ergos, you should have a pretty decent knife. So stay tuned for that. Hinderer, haven't been carrying that as much as I want to, just because I do have all these other knives coming, and, I just gotta see if I like them. If not, they gotta go. So next up, Protec TR4. Wow, this thing is giant. I've been carrying this guy a lot at work. 154 cm steel, good stuff. I love 154. CPM and CM, both. I enjoy the way they sharpen. They seem to be pretty tough for a stainless steel, and overall, can't be too mad at that. They seem to do fine in production knives, which is also really big. So far, I'm liking it. It is not my favorite. It's a really good knife, but there's a couple things holding this guy back, that maybe I should track down a manual version for the sake of the video. But as of right now, I only have this auto. If you know anybody that would be willing to lend me a manual version for me to check out, I could send them one of my knives as long as they're trusted. I just want to get some more data, if you will, on this guy, because I think the design is there. Just a couple of things I can't quite put my finger on just yet. This knife I stopped carrying for a little bit. Couldn't get the pivot undone to disassemble the knife. So what ended up happening is the knife broke in. Maybe the washers thinned out a little bit, or maybe there was debris in the action, keeping the knife rock solid side to side. Whatever happened, some room was created in this region, and it developed side to side. It doesn't have it anymore, but I tried getting the pivot undone. As you can see, not a common pivot, and I ended up not being able to do it for about a month. So I ordered a tool. Eventually, even with the tool, it was pretty hard. I got it open, and it's again. This knife is, even though it's part of the big three, it's susceptible to criticism. There's some things that maybe I'd do differently. And you might be thinking in your head, well, who gives a fuck what you would do? Other knife makers do it differently too, and it seems like some of the aspects of this knife, Strider is a standalone in terms of the flaws. At least in the big three and knives that are in that price range. Performance with this is actually really, really, really good. About as good as the SOCOM. So this knife is consistently as thin as my let me see, as this SOCOM is behind the edge right here. It thickens up as you get closer to the tip, but super thin knife. These cut really well because they ground off a lot of material from the actual blade blank. Same deal with the Strider. They just did a little bit steeper of an angle, and were willing to grind their knife quite a bit thinner than even Chris Reeve. So super impressed with that. I think you guys can see one of the one of the flaws with this guy. It seems to go away if you flick it, which is interesting. I wouldn't expect that. It's counterintuitive. Next up, another CRK. I'm trying to figure out what this knife even is relative to the Sebenza. So I've carried it enough to know that all of the concerns I had about it initially are no longer concerns. However, I the issue is understanding what the purpose of the knife is relative to a Sebenza, because they're extremely similar, and that this is actually one of the reasons why I locked down that full titanium Sebenza, because I thought maybe it would, shine some light on where this knife excels. And just having this carbon fiber one, I don't know if I'd be comfortable, making statements about it. So yeah, super excited about this. This knife actually has better ergos than the Sebenza. Really nice ergos on this. I mean, not like world class, but I mean, they're for a production knife, a folding knife at that. Definitely very, very impressive. And shockingly, gloved operation is a walk in the park. So really been impressed by this, because from taking it out of the box, a lot of people struggle to even deploy it. You have, there's a whole slew of, things going on that are different on this knife to another knife. That lock bar, you have a tendency to put a lot of pressure on it while trying to deploy the knife, in which, you cannot deploy the knife. But yeah, I don't want to review the Omnums on right now in this video. So moving on, got this Hinderer Slippy. Very, very surprised by this. Was not expecting to like this as much as I do. Whew, man, this makes me want to check out a 3-inch XM flipper. I think that would be, or XM18 3-inch. And I just poked myself. Yeah, super, super impressive. I definitely like it more without the thumb stud. I think it looks better, and I think in terms of cutting, like when the material bunches up here, there's really nothing for it to catch on. So I've been enjoying that a lot. I also have a Gen 6 Hinderer that should be coming within the next week as well. It's a Gen 6. Basically, this knife, a skinny with a sheep's foot. So super excited about that. I'm going to shout out who hooked me up with that and the Sebenza when I get them, just because he's doing me a huge favor. So you know who you are if you're watching it. I can't thank you enough, dude. But yeah, so lastly, I wanted to know what you guys think of the new format in terms of like the conclusive analysis videos. Now, the title of those videos is meant to be humorous, It seems like everybody claims, and myself included, everybody claims to not review knives. They open the knife, SOCOM Elite. I'm not going to review this knife, and then they proceed to review it on camera. So it was just kind of like a humorous thing I came up with that I guess is probably only funny to me, but really it is a conclusive analysis of the knife. So it's both humorous to me and accurate at the same time. So I don't know. I've personally enjoyed that format a little bit more than my old stuff. And then last question I had, what do you guys want to see on my channel? I seem to have quite a bit of free time coming up, so I did change jobs. I am going to be going back to school. I just lost my train of thought. Maybe I shouldn't go back to school. Losing my train of thought every 2 seconds. Yeah, so I do have quite a bit of free time, so if you want to see some videos, comment below. I'm kind of backing off the rope cut tests just because I do them. They take a lot of time. I have to sharpen the knife, I have to buy the rope, and then nobody watches them. So it seems like people are interested in the Strider, the SOCOM. So I might end up doing a rope cut test with this and this. But really, I think the rope cut test is going to be no more, unfortunately. Unless people want me to. Views don't really matter. It's more the video being useful to other people. I kind of already have an idea of how the knives are going to perform just based off of carrying them. So really, it's just for you guys to see. So let me know in the comments. I just want to thank you guys for 600 subscribers and 4,000, almost 4,500 almost followers on Instagram. Can't thank you guys enough again. So it's been a hell of a year. It's only been about a year and 4 months since I made my Instagram, and I can't believe that. I was prepared for 100 people to follow me the first year, and now we're at 4,000, which is unreal. So I mean, it really has been amazing. So many knowledgeable people in the community. Not even knowledgeable, just people that fucking text me, make me laugh, shit like that. It's huge, It's not often that you can connect on the level that people in this community connect without having ever met the person. It is absolutely insane. So even people that I've never met in group chats I'm in on Instagram, I feel like I know them better than I know people I work with or have worked with in the past. It's really a special thing when you think about it. But enough ranting, rambling, whatever the fuck it's called. I will see you guys in the next video. So really, if you comment, if you don't, no big deal. What knives you want to see, what kind of videos you want to see, do you like the new format, and if you don't like any of those, just say fuck you and report my video or whatever. Do whatever you want. Alright, see you guys.